What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking Terra LUNC Classic, in particular some machine learning algorithm that's going to tell us where the price is going to be by the end of January. That's definitely something you're going to want to see, and also some new proposals coming out of Classy Crypto, and as well as a bit of an update and in particular a new direction for Terra LUNC Classic. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with everything going on, all of that good stuff. But first, let's take a look at the market. Now, we are just marginally down 823.9 billion. Now, importantly though, we are moving up as a global crypto economy. 853 is what we're looking for from that CPI data a couple of weeks back, but we are definitely going in the right direction. Now, we've just ticked into Sunday here in the UK, so we'll have to see. Sundays tend to be a tough, rough day in the crypto market. But you can see there, Bitcoin trying to go and test 17k, has tested it a couple of times. If we see it, potentially we head up to 18. If we reject it, we might see us back down to the early 16s. 1264 on ETH. And as we come down the list, it's a bit of a mixed bag across the whole of the market, with some coins performing incredibly well. Matic up nearly 0.82%, as well as a couple of others. Solana taking a bit of a hit. But as we kind of come down the list, you can see a mixture of green and red. Apecoin having a pretty decent run, albeit. And as we get to the 40th largest cryptocurrency out there right now, we see Terra LUNC Classic currently trading 1532. Like we said, down 1.76. Now, the volume is significantly down, 41% we are seeing down. But whenever we see movement in the global market, Terra LUNC Classic seems to be one of those that just struggles to get volume. $920 billion is our current market cap. So we have to kind of just wait and see. Excuse me, 920 million is our current market cap. Now, I'm going to come back to the more technicals in just one second, but I did think this was an incredibly interesting article. A machine learning algorithm, I've always got to take this with a pinch of salt, gives us a price prediction for Terra LUNC Classic. So before I do this, though, drop in the comment below what you think your price prediction is by the end of January. Now, it says, as the new year unfolds, investors of the most cryptocurrencies will be hoping specific assets will rally to reclaim lost glory. One such token is Terra LUNC Classic, the original chain of the collapsed Terra LUNC ecosystem. Now, it goes on to talk about different strategies and also the proposals, but it says, consequently, the machine learning based algorithm at price prediction project that LUNC will likely undergo a minor rally for the better part of January. In particular, the platform predicts that LUNC will trade at the 30155 on January 31st. The 30-day price forecast represents gains of about 0.8% from the asset's value at the time of publishing. The price prediction is based on indicators such as moving average, relative strength indicator, moving average, convergence, divergence, and also the Bollinger Bands. Now, here's the interesting part with this. I actually think it's a relatively sensible price prediction. So I've got a couple of levels marked on here. You can see the 15.5 point just here. It's an interesting concept because we do tend to trade sideways when the market isn't doing anything. Now, we also know that we have Zaradar and the Layer 1 task force team really working hard to build it. And more importantly, on the back of that, we also then have another great day with the team, and sadly also last day of onboarding. But next week, the PR show from LUNC Burn Army and Demon Monkey. And these guys have not been messing around. They've been in Twitter spaces, they've been on AMAs, and we're going to really start to see that. And that's something we haven't really seen with Terra LUNC Classic, a dedicated, specific PR team based upon one of the development teams that are building out on our ecosystem. Rather than, you know, us YouTubers that talk about LUNC Classic and talk about kind of what's going on, this is going to be specific links directly back into the development team to really bring us up-to-date information in terms of what they are building out. So I am incredibly excited, and if I'm honest, I think the two individuals that are going to do it are incredibly well thought of in the space. They're very, very knowledgeable in terms of what they're talking about. So for me, this feels like a really, really big win. And I definitely think we start to see some movement, both in terms of development and equally notoriety into Terra LUNC Classic. Now, when we talk about the price prediction, if we start to see some positive momentum, if we start to see coding being updated, if we start to see more projects and potentially even utility land on the ecosystem in a big way, then the price will move. I think it's fair to say we'll see an increase in the price. Now, we've always got to be mindful and take everything and price predictions with a pinch of salt. But at the same time, if we start to get these things aligned and people start to see the absolute benefit of building on LUNC Classic, then we could see a breakout. We've got a couple of important levels that we would have to break out. Obviously, we're on the daily chart here, but you can see we just, if you look back in history, we just tend to trade sideways for a period of time. You know, it could be anything from 2 weeks, and then we either see a run up or a run down, depending on what the market is doing. So I, for one, definitely interested to see as we go through the course of January in particular what kind of happens on there. With that being said, there is a bit more coming out of Classic Crypto. Now, we know scams are a big problem in crypto in general. You'll see in the YouTube comments, people want to get me, you know, people want me to WhatsApp them. It just doesn't happen. You've got to be mindful. Remember, always look after yourself. I will never ask you for money, as I'm sure everyone else in the YouTube influencer space will absolutely be that. So Classy's putting across that we increase the amount for depositing and putting proposals on up to 1 million Lunar Classic. Now, it is a significant amount, and I think it's met with a bit of you know, a bit of kind of trepidation in terms of what that looks like. It does that, you know, does that stop proposals coming through? But actually, in my opinion, for me now, we need to just stabilize. We need to build. We need to really use what we've got and start to build out. We don't want to see proposals every week. We don't want new proposals. It's the one biggest thing when you talk to anyone in the community right now, the one biggest thing that people don't want to invest in Lunar Classic is because tomorrow it might be something different to what it is today. So I think there's a couple of bits with this. One, yes, I agree, it stops the scammers. Again, do not click on any link that's offering you an airdrop. It's just not the case. It's not going to happen, whether that's Lunar Classic, whether that's anywhere else. It isn't going to happen. But at the same time, what we're then going to not get is just people putting random proposals through. I've seen proposals that are just burn 90% of the supply. They're just madness in terms of what's going on there. We need to be specific. And again, this development of the PR team, this development of the layer one team should then ultimately support this. But for me right now, there's a couple of big proposals going on, namely the one to make sure we have a consensus to decentralize the ability to update code, which I think for one is incredibly important. The rest of them, I think we just kind of need to sit, wait and see, and start to build out. Now, there is some rumblings again of Terra, and a couple of other people starting to potentially come over and build on that. We'll keep you up to date as we know that, but at the minute we don't know too much, therefore there isn't really a lot to talk about, but certainly could be an indication of what's coming for our blockchain. So some key points coming up, very, very big couple of weeks for Terra Lunar Classic. I'm excited for next week as we start to really see a ramp up from a PR perspective. What is that going to bring? Let me know in the comments down below. As ever, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with everything going on. We are on our way to 14,000 subscribers, so do me a favor, please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. As always, have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video.